As heavyweight champion of the world, Daniel Dubois has called out Jake fucking Paul. What is going on?
He's obviously seen dollar signs or pound signs, so much so that he slid into his DMs and messaged the problem child, calling him out. Paul responded with a meme, as he does. He's of this generation with a ticket counter, and he said, "Get."
I don't really know what the fuck Daniel Dubois is thinking with this, but let's be honest, it's probably not serious. It's probably him just having a bit of fun and doing a bit of clout chasing. But have you guys noticed, every time Jake Paul gets called out by a real boxer of a good level, he always shuts it down in some way and makes...
After his recent victory, Jake Paul finds himself in the crosshairs of heavyweight contender Daniel Dubois. The social media exchange between the two has sparked buzz around a potential fight following Jake's bout with Mike Tyson. The excitement from Jake's win and this new challenge has kept fans talking about what's next for the YouTube star turned boxer. Jake's fight with Mike Tyson was a spectacle that exceeded expectations. Against all odds, Jake managed to secure a win over the boxing legend, shocking many who doubted his skills. But the journey to the fight wasn't without its drama. At the weigh-in, things got heated when Tyson slapped Jake after he accidentally stepped on his foot. The slap instantly went viral, adding tension and excitement to an already hyped fight. Jake remained unfazed when reflecting on the slap and brushed it off in his typical laid-back style. He stated, "I didn't feel it. I'm really not trying to like be tough or something. It didn't feel like anything. I didn't even feel a single thing. Not even like, oh my god, that hurt. It was all beard, so like the skin didn't even hurt. I don't know. I was just bro." Jake's response shows his confidence and ability to stay calm under pressure, even when facing a legend like Mike Tyson. His composed reaction to the slap and his victory in the ring has only solidified his position as one of boxing's most talked about figures today. Jake Paul's win didn't just catch the attention of fans, it drew reactions from some of the biggest names in combat sports, who were quick to weigh in with their thoughts. From fiery warnings to outright mockery, the post-fight buzz proved that Paul is now a major player in the boxing world. Gervonta "Tank" Davis didn't waste time addressing Paul. He sent out a bold statement saying, "One more thing, I'ma beat the brakes off Jake when I catch him. Uppercut, jab, jab, left hook, uppercut, hook, watch." The comment immediately grabbed attention, sparking debates about whether Davis might actually step into the ring with Paul. Never one to back down, Jake responded with his trademark humor and stated, "Gervonta Davis is just angry he's not tall enough to ride the roller coaster at Disney World. I'm sorry, little buddy. I know it's not fair." The exchange quickly went viral, with fans both cheering Paul's wit and defending Davis's skill as a fighter. Gervonta was not the only one who called out Jake Paul. Even the retired boxing champion Carl Frosch also joined the conversation, taking aim at Jake Paul in his usual sharp-tongued manner. Frosch tweeted, "Listen up, Jakey boy. I'm 11 years retired, not done a round of boxing for over a decade. I'm old, gray, and out of shape, but I'd still give your missus the best night of her life. I bet she dreams about a real man. Let me know if you still want your cars washing. She can let me in through the back door. P.S. I'd knock you out in 30 seconds. You are useless." Paul, known for his quick comebacks, fired back with a fiery response. "Sour loser. Shut the f*** up. I've done more in 4 years than you have in your life. First and last time I respond to your broke salty ass. Let me know if you want to wash my cars." The back and forth lit up social media, with Frosch later doubling down on his criticism. He confidently claimed, "If I went in there with Jake Paul, it would be an absolute mismatch. One-round demolition job. I'd even tie one arm behind my back." Meanwhile, Conor McGregor stirred up his own controversy with a now-deleted tweet. He wrote, "They are eyeing Pritchard Colon for next opponent." McGregor didn't stop there, posting another tweet praising Tyson. "A solid buttocks, nipples like cigars, knockout power. Mike is truly God's creation. God bless Iron Mike." Although the tweets were quickly deleted, fans had already shared them, sparking plenty of chatter. Jake Paul, unimpressed by McGregor's remarks, took to social media to call him out. "Dear Conor, I know you told my team you would fight me at 170 pounds. That's never happening, but let's run it in MMA. No weight class, just like how it used to be done, but you won't." At the post-fight press conference, Paul dismissed the idea of a fight with McGregor entirely and emphasized that McGregor was was wise enough to avoid the challenge. His remarks combined his characteristic confidence and playful taunts, both ridiculing McGregor and reinforcing his image as someone fearless in targeting the biggest names in combat sports.
What about you and Conor McGregor? Are you interested in that?
Yeah, he'll never do that though. He knows. He knows way.
One, he's under contract, and
he's not his own boss.
And two, he won't do it. He knows better. He might.
And it's funny to say like, yo, Conor McGregor is scared of Jake Paul and will never box him, but it's the truth. And look at him go toe to toe with Nate Diaz, who was easy work for me. It was like a Monday sparring session to beat Nate Diaz's ass. So, he doesn't ever want the smoke with me. It won't ever happen.
The post-fight buzz took another turn when Andrew Tate, the outspoken internet personality and former kickboxing champion, called out Jake Paul with a fiery challenge. Never one to mince words, Tate said, "I will fight you any day of the f***ing week. Don't worry about Conor McGregor f***ing you up. Don't worry about Floyd Mayweather f***ing you up. You only want to lose to them so you can say, I lost to Conor McGregor. Why don't you lose to an old man who is retired?" Tate's direct challenge immediately set social media ablaze, with fans speculating on whether Jake Paul would respond or even consider stepping into the ring with him. Unlike some of the other callouts, Tate kept things simple, stating that he was ready whenever Jake Paul was. "Send me the contract," Tate added, making it clear that the ball was in Paul's court.
If you want to fight and you want to send a contract, send one to me. I will take a few weeks break from living my retired life to kick the living fuck out of a goofy, entitled kid like you. You know my name, Andrew Tate. Google it if you want to know more. Any day, anytime, let's go.
As debate regarding the future fight of Jake Paul is ongoing, another heavyweight contender, Daniel Dubois, stepped up with his challenge. Dubois directly messaged Jake Paul with a confident and straightforward call-out, saying, "Good business on the weekend, but how would you feel fighting for the legitimate heavyweight championship of the world? This is Daniel Dubois calling you out. Let's get it on." In response, Jake Paul's promotional team, Valuable Promotions, sent a cheeky reply that immediately went viral. The message included an image of a deli-style ticket dispenser, implying that Dubois would have to wait his turn, accompanied by the caption, "Get in line." The playful response set social media buzzing, with fans debating whether it was a lighthearted jab or a sign that Jake Paul might not be rushing into a fight with a heavyweight champion. Dubois' challenge is no small matter, as stepping into the ring with a heavyweight like him would be a significant step up for Jake Paul. Addressing Dubois' experience and the weight of his challenge, Paul didn't shy away, adding that he'd have his team reach out to set things in motion. His confident tone suggests that while Dubois brings skill and history to the table, Paul is more than willing to entertain the fight. As Daniel Dubois' challenge to Jake Paul gained traction, the boxing community quickly weighed in with their thoughts. Promoters, analysts, and former fighters shared their takes on what a potential fight between Paul and Dubois could mean, with some criticizing the idea as a mismatch and others acknowledging the financial allure. Here's what they had to say. Promoter Frank Warren, who works closely with Daniel Dubois, made it clear that he believes a fight between Jake Paul and Dubois would be completely one-sided. Warren didn't mince his words, describing it as a mismatch that wouldn't serve the sport in any meaningful way. His blunt assessment highlighted the significant gap in skill, experience, and weight class, calling into question the legitimacy of such a matchup. Warren's remarks underscored the widespread skepticism from boxing professionals about Jake Paul stepping into the ring with an established heavyweight like Dubois.
No, I didn't, and I mean, I would at the very worst, that would be or the best, it would be probably the worst mismatch of all time.
Warren further elaborated on the financial side of boxing, offering insight into how fights like these can be more about the money than the sport. He pointed out the stark contrast between what traditional boxers earn in smaller bouts versus the substantial payouts fighters like Jake Paul generate. This comparison highlighted why such matches often make financial sense, even if they seem mismatched in terms of skill. He stated, "No, I don't think I would. I mean, we haven't said that we were involved when Tommy Fury is a boxer for him, and he did take a license out. And it was, I mean, you know Tommy won the fight. There weren't a lot in the fight, but I mean, you've got to look at this, like Tommy Fury or anybody fighting an 8-round fight in Britain, they'd be lucky to get something like 12,000 pounds. This sharp disparity in pay helps explain the appeal for fighters like Dubois to take on someone like Jake Paul. Warren continued by highlighting the lucrative opportunities these fights create for athletes who might otherwise earn much less for similar work. He stated, "When you can pick up $3-4 million to do the same thing, it's a no-brainer. It's life-changing money. It's money in the bank." Warren also acknowledged the fans' role in enabling such events. He reasoned that if people are willing to pay to see these fights, then it's not his place, or anyone else's, to criticize. He stated, "And who am I to knock it? If people want to buy it, and they've got their money, and they want to spend it, that's up to them." Frank Warren further explained why a fight between Jake Paul and Daniel Dubois is unlikely from a regulatory standpoint. He emphasized that Dubois is the IBF champion, and Jake Paul hasn't achieved the necessary rankings within the organization to even qualify for such a bout. This regulatory hurdle, coupled with Paul's lack of experience against top-ranked opponents, makes the fight implausible.
Look, if he wants to do it, he'll do it. It won't happen. He's the IBF champion. Jake's not ranked in the IBF. He won't be ranked in the IBF. He's not fought anybody who's ranked in that in the top 10, so it's never going to happen.
Warren also acknowledged the financial aspect once again, suggesting that Dubois could potentially be motivated by the significant payday such a fight would bring. If the opportunity to earn a truckload of money presents itself, Warren admitted it might be hard to stop Dubois from pursuing it, even if the fight itself isn't logical from a competitive standpoint. He stated, "And if he's called him out, and if people come back and say, yeah, let's have some of that," he said that he would get paid a truckload of money for it. Who might stop him from doing it? These comments highlight the tension between the financial incentives and the logistical and competitive realities of such a matchup. Heavyweight contender Dillian Whyte took a more lighthearted approach when discussing the potential fight between Jake Paul and Daniel Dubois. While he commended Jake Paul's contributions to boxing, Whyte couldn't help but call out the absurdity of the matchup. He noted that Dubois' challenge, while seemingly outlandish, was financially motivated and would represent the biggest payday of Dubois' career.
You know what? I like Jake Paul. I like what he's doing for boxing, but this is getting ridiculous now. Obviously, I can understand why Daniel would challenge him, because it'd be Daniel's biggest payday so far, as funny as he.
However, Whyte didn't shy away from pointing out the glaring mismatch in skill and experience between Dubois and Paul. He made it clear that while the fight might make sense financially, it would be a one-sided affair, with Dubois dominating the YouTuber-turned-boxer without much effort. He stated, "As funny as it may seem, considering the real champion is Jake Paul, a YouTuber, it'd be Daniel's biggest payday. I get it, but Daniel would murder him." Whyte's remarks captured the balance between the entertainment and commercial appeal of such a fight and the clear competitive gap, suggesting the fight would be more spectacle than sport. Former cruiserweight champion Tony Bellew didn't hold back when addressing the idea of Jake Paul stepping into the ring with Daniel Dubois. Known for his sharp and honest opinions, Bellew criticized Paul's ambitions as unrealistic and disconnected from the reality of professional boxing. He questioned the feasibility of such a fight, highlighting both its absurdity and the logistical barriers that would prevent it from happening. He stated, "Jeff, he's got a great imagination, but I don't know what planet he's on. It's gotta be Mars or somewhere like that to even think about something like this. Listen, it couldn't be sanctioned anyway, that's first and foremost." Tony Bellew didn't stop at criticizing Jake Paul's ambitions. He also took the opportunity to share his thoughts on the larger dynamics at play, including his views on the promoters and the spectacle surrounding Paul's fights. Reflecting on his own observations, Bellew didn't mince words about how these events have turned into a financial circus.
It couldn't be right. Listen, we've seen an old Mike Tyson there on Friday night. I was heartbroken to watch it. Yeah. I heard Frank Warren yesterday saying, well, Tony Bellew was a part of it. I actually berated him in front of his face, and I made a mockery of Jake Paul. I wouldn't dare disrespect Mike Tyson.
Tony Bellew didn't hold back in his critique of promoters, singling out Frank Warren for what he described as a pattern of prioritizing profits over the integrity of the sport. He pointed to Warren's history of working with Mike Tyson and suggested that the legendary boxer had been put into situations that weren't in his best interest. "It's all the promoters, including Frank Warren. I've made money off the back of Mike Tyson, and it's obvious he's trying to do it again, as you can see. I think people like Frank have got very short memories." If Frank remembers correctly, he he put Tyson in the ring like a lamb to the slaughter. Bellew went on to expand his criticism, arguing that Warren's actions reflect a lack of regard for Tyson's legacy and well-being. He described how Warren had allegedly facilitated fights that left Tyson in compromising situations, underscoring how short-sighted decision-making can have lasting consequences. He allowed them to get in the ring, and at the bottom of his two sides of the Daily Minute, if I'm correct and remembered. So Frank's got a very, very short memory. I think he's got such a short memory, it might be out of him by Mike Tyson in that whole room, and it hasn't been many, many years ago. Bellew's remarks highlighted his frustration with the way legends like Tyson have been treated in pursuit of financial gain, drawing attention to the need for more respect and care in the sport. He further turned his attention to Jake Paul and the absurdity of him facing a heavyweight like Daniel Dubois. Bellew reiterated that Dubois is a top-tier heavyweight who would easily defeat Paul without much effort. Bellew also addressed the financial side of these fights, acknowledging the draw of money but defending Tyson against criticism. He called on everyone to take responsibility, from the promoters to the fans, for allowing these spectacles to continue. I can't lay any of the blame for Friday night at the feet of Mike Tyson, boys. We all know it's about money, and for 20 million, yeah, we'd all get in the ring. If anything, we're all to blame, all of us, because we tuned in, we watched it. He further continued and stated, for those who didn't, fair play to you, but I tuned in because I was hoping Mike could get hit, beat Jake Paul, and belittle him. I tried to show him from a fighter's norm, but you're seeing the guy at the end of it, and he's 117 years old, a great-grandfather. Bellew also expressed his frustration with the industry and how it continues to prioritize money over legacy, yet he recognized that the allure of a massive payday is something very few, if any, would turn down. He stated, I just tried to make an absolute mockery of it, which it was, but I couldn't disrespect Mike Tyson because, listen, we've all got a price, and I'm sure if Frank was also offered 20 million, he would do it. Jordan then shifted focus to the financial impact Jake Paul has had on the sport. He recognized that Paul's ability to generate revenue and attract attention has benefited not just himself, but also other fighters. Using Serrano and Tate as examples, he pointed out how Paul's deals with broadcasters have brought substantial financial rewards to the boxing community. He stated, but if you want to get paid, the one thing you can say about Jake Paul is the amount of finances he's bringing into the sport. Serrano and Tate got paid an enormous amount of money because of the deals this kid is doing with broadcasters and the audience he brings. Jordan's comments highlight the tension between the financial opportunities Jake Paul creates and the traditional expectations of competitive boxing. While his influence is undeniable, the question remains whether such fights align with the long-term goals of fighters like Dubois. Simon Jordan also shared his thoughts on the outcome of a potential fight between Jake Paul and Daniel Dubois, leaving no doubt about his opinion. He acknowledged that Jake Paul's presence brings financial value to boxing, but emphasized the vast difference in skill and experience between the two fighters. According to Jordan, a fight with Dubois would be extremely one-sided, with Dubois dominating in a matter of seconds.
Him being involved in something, there is something valuable for boxing there. Daniel Dubois would knock Jason Paul into the next life within 30 seconds.
Simon Jordan further elaborated on the broader implications of Jake Paul's rise in boxing. While he criticized the idea of a fight with Daniel Dubois, calling it demeaning to a legitimate heavyweight, he also recognized the commercial appeal of Jake Paul's brand. Jordan acknowledged that at just 27 years old, Paul has successfully built a massive audience and made millions by tapping into what people want to see, even if it doesn't align with traditional boxing values. His remarks highlighted the divide between boxing professionals and the entertainment-driven direction the sport is increasingly taking.
Of course not. Of course not.
Sounds like it.
No, of course not. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's demeaning of Daniel Dubois to even DM the little twerp. But by definition, he has. And whether it's to gain attention or whether it's because the guy's got such a big audience, whatever you do or don't like, and and I'm not an admirer of this particular genre.
The idea of Jake Paul fighting a heavyweight like Daniel Dubois has caused a lot of debate in the boxing world. Some people think it could bring in money and entertainment, while others feel it would damage the sport's reputation. Comments from Tony Bellew, Simon Jordan, and Frank Warren show the conflict between the business side of boxing and the fairness of competition. What do you think? Would a fight between Jake Paul and Daniel Dubois be exciting or bad for boxing? Who do you want to see Jake Paul fight next? Share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to our channel for more boxing updates.